Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mary Mulewins, and in today's video I thought of talking about the cultural shocks that I've experienced here in Germany as a Zambian. Number one, guys, is the public holidays. Guys, I was so shocked to find that here in Germany, when a public holiday is held on a Saturday or a Sunday, it remains on those days. It is not moved. So if a public holiday falls on Sunday, guys, like for example, the day of reunification fell on Saturday, it remained on Saturday, the 31st of October. They did not move it to Monday, like how it is done in Zambia, where a holiday that falls on Saturday or Sunday is actually moved to a Monday. So that was like a shocker to me. I was like, what? You know, like how is a holiday falling on a day that is looked as a holiday itself, a Sunday or Saturday, people don't really work, kept that way, you know. So for me, that was a shock, because in Zambia it would be moved to a Monday. Even in South Africa, it would be moved to a Monday. I don't know how it is done, but I think maybe in Zambia and South Africa, people like partying. I don't know. Or maybe the Germans are just people who are so strict, too strict with how they do things. Maybe. Guys, number two, cultural shock. Guys, Germans like planning. They plan everything, guys. Even the tiny bits of things, they plan them. Guys, they plan how the morning is going to run, how the afternoon is going to run, and how the evening is going to run. Like you write down, okay, in the morning I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. In the afternoon, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go there, here, and that, and that. Like you have to write. So for me, you guys, it doesn't happen in Zambia. It doesn't happen. I stayed in South Africa. It really never happened that way. So I found it so too much, a little bit too much for me, because then my husband who always say, oh, how is the morning going to be? Like, do you have plans for the morning? How is it going to run? Like, you know, like everything, it has to be done in a certain way. Guys, I found that as a shock for me. I found it as a shock. And sometimes when he asks me what are the plans for the afternoon and the evenings, I'm like, I haven't thought about it, but I'll write them, I'll send them to you, or something like that. Or I'll just say, what are your plans? And then when he starts saying he's going to do this and that and that, and then I say, oh, okay, I'm actually thinking of doing this and that and that and that. Culture shock, for real. Guys, number three. Guys, I want you to hold on. And there's this huge cultural shock that I would like to speak about. Guys, just hold on. So number three, cultural shock. So guys, when I came here, I found out that in Germany, it's actually mandatory for your child to go to school at the age of 3. So at the age of 3, no matter what, even though the kindergartens, you know, childhood education centers say that they do not have places, a place for a child who's 3 years old has to be found. And if your kid is 3 years old and not in school, not in kindergarten, you are fined. they fine you, and the money is not little. So this was a shock to me, because where I come from in Zambia, it's up to you when you take your child to school, you know. Though 7 years is regarded as an age at which every child should be in school there in Zambia, where a child can be taken to a public school and stuff like that. But those who've got money to take their children to private school, they can take their children to private school at the age of 2, you know, somewhere there, and 3, 4, and stuff like that. But there is no law that would punish parents for not taking their children to school. But here in Germany, there is a law. They punish you. They make you pay a penalty if your child is not at school at the age of 3. That was a shock, but I think a good thing as well. So, number 4, guys, away from school and away from, kids. So, one other thing that I found here in Germany, guys, a cultural shock to me, was coffee time, and how this coffee time is so valued. It's an important routine of the day. Around 4, 5, somewhere there, you should have some coffee time. You should have some coffee with cakes, you know, coffee with something sweet, you know. So for me, it was something new. It was something that I had to learn, you know. We don't really have coffee time in Zambia, or even maybe tea time. I don't know, maybe some people have some tea time or something like that, but we don't have the coffee time where you know that at around this time you are going to have some coffee and something sweet, some cakes and stuff like that. So I have learned that, and it is something that has become part of my life. I have to have some coffee. So during this coffee time, you can even invite your friends to come over and say, we are inviting you to visit us at coffee time. And then they would come, you would sit, you would talk, you know, while you're talking, then you're having some coffee and stuff like that. I think it's a good time, like, to catch up with your lives. It's a good time to talk, and it's a good time to meet as well. I think so. You meet over coffee and something sweet, some cakes. Yeah, I think it's a good tradition. It's a good culture. Number 5, in Germany, by law, all shops are closed on Sundays. There's no shop that is open as long as it's a German shop. They are not open, even the shopping malls. Guys, this was a shock to me, because where I come from and where I've lived for so many years, that is Cape Town, South Africa. Guys, Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, these are the days, like, they are the days just for shopping. Like at the shopping malls. The shopping malls are open, guys, until late hours of the day, on Saturday and on Sunday. So when I came here, it was very difficult for me to adjust. I asked hubby, I said, but can't we go to a shopping mall? Maybe to just spend some time out there at the shopping mall and stuff like that, you know, thinking of how I used to do it there in Cape Town or in South Africa and in Zambia as well. And then he said, no, here shopping malls are not open. They are all closed. Even the shops, grocery shops are closed as well. For me, this was a huge shock, guys. It did not sit well with me. Let me confess, it did not sit well with me. It wasn't very easy for me to accept, You understand? But eventually I gave in, and it is okay. So Sundays are for family at home. Yeah, at home. Number 6, guys. In Germany, by law, all the noise, I mean all the noise, guys, like music in the house, talking loud, or whatever you're doing, drilling, vacuuming, cleaning that makes noise, guys, all has to stop at 10 p.m. It has to stop at 10 p.m. This is by law. This may be different in other states. I do not know. I am in Saxony. This may be different from Bavaria, where Munich is. May be different from Berlin. May be different from, I don't know, other places. Frankfurt, where Frankfurt is, or Hamburg, or wherever. But where I am, you guys, how is it like? But here, at 10 p.m. This actually, when you come here, when you come to Germany, when you're doing your language course, as well as the integration course, because you have to do integration course for you to be integrated into the German community. So you do this course about the history and the social life in Germany, and how people live, and the law, a little bit of the law. So there is this question about at what time is the noise supposed to end. So that is there. So that's how serious it is, guys. So 10 p.m. all the noises are supposed to be gone. It has to be quiet. People need to prepare to go to bed. People need to prepare for tomorrow. So this was a shock to me, guys. It was a shock because where I come from, there are no rules as to when you need to have quiet time and when not, And to that, guys, where I live here, there's a rule that at 12, between 12 and 2 o'clock, it's supposed to be quiet. Apparently, people are supposed to have a nap time, a quiet time during the day. So you have to follow that as well. So you can't make any noise, especially like using the vacuum in the house and stuff like that. That really disturbs me. It really disturbs me because then my life becomes so programmed that I can only clean the house at this time of the day and not this time of the day and this and that. Guys, it drives me crazy sometimes. Yeah. So guys, number 7. An apartment here in Germany, guys, is talked about. You know how big the apartment is, how big the house is where you're staying, is talked about in terms of square meters. This was new to me, because where I come from, we speak about rooms. How big is your house? Oh, I live in a 3-bedroomed house, or 2-bedroomed, or in a 1-bedroomed house. That's where I live. Things like that. And then a person will know that, okay, so it's 2 bedrooms, a lounge or sitting room, a kitchen, bathroom, and so on. But here, you have to speak in square meters. How big is your apartment? How big is your apartment? And a person has to answer 85 square meters, That was something very new to me. I was like, God, I couldn't put, the imagination of the apartment that is 85 square meters to the number. And it was like, God, help me here. So then the rooms, guys, the way they count rooms, when they say a 5-bedroomed house here or apartment, or let's say a 4-bedroomed apartment or house, then they mean they are only counting the bedrooms and the lounge. The kitchen is not counted, So if you live in a 4-bedroomed house, I mean, if you live in a 4-roomed house, that means that you've got 3 bedrooms and a lounge, a sitting room. This makes it 4 rooms. And this is regarded as a big house or big apartment. Number 8, the shock of my life. The shock of my life. Guys, in Germany, when you are moving from one house to another, or from one apartment to another apartment, you have to move with the whole apartment. Oh, let me say, guys, you will have to move with everything from that apartment. When I say everything, I mean everything, including the fact that you move out with your kitchen unit, the cupboards. Guys, you remove everything. You take away the stove. You take away even the pipes, the stove connectors. You take them out. Guys, you take away the sink. You have to remove the sink. Take it away with you. Even the tap, guys. The tap that brings water into the kitchen, you have to go with it. What remains there is just a pipe to bring fresh water in, and a pipe to take dirty water out. That was the shock of my life. I said, what is this? Why do they do this? Where I come from, you actually including South Africa as well, you can move away with all your other things, your kitchen utensils and stuff that you bring in, the fridge and stuff, but things like the stove, especially those built-in stoves, they remain. They come with their apartment. You know, the kitchen unit, the cupboards in the kitchen, they remain there. They come with the apartment. You know, the tap, the sink, everything remains there. And I think this is a cultural shock for a lot of people, because I've seen some people who've made videos also here on YouTube speaking about this is how this is such a shock to them, you know. So it's not only me as a Zambian, but Americans as well have made videos about how this is such a huge shock, you know, where you move out with the sink. You carry your sink with you. You carry your tap with you. You carry everything, you know. This is how serious it is. But when I asked Habi, then he said mainly it's because a person has got preferences with what kind of kitchen units they want in their kitchen, and yeah, and the kind of tap, you know, the design and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. It was really a shock to me, but maybe it makes sense when you really think about it. It makes sense, but it's still a shock. Number 9. Here in Germany, the banks open until 12 o'clock on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. And this is in Saxony, where I am. I do not know about other parts of Germany, but it may be the same, because these kind of laws are like compulsory, especially for, you know, like institutions like banks and stuff like that. For example, I bank with Sparkasse. So with Sparkasse or Sparkasse, this is a law that is compulsory in all states, I think. So the banks open until 12. Then on Tuesday and Thursday, they open until 6 p.m. So that's from 8:30 somewhere there, 8:30 somewhere there, until 6 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. So for me, when I came here, you know, I was doing a lot of things, trying to open bank accounts and do this, connect this, work stuff and banking and stuff like that. So for me, this was like a huge shock. Was something new, you know. This was something new because I wanted to do something on a Monday in preparation for Tuesday for work. But when I told hubby to take me to the bank, he told me, no, the banks are closed. I said, no. Okay, so when are they opening? Are they opening at 2 after lunch or something like that? He says, no, the banks are closed for the day. I said, no, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is too much, guys. You can't close a bank. You open at 8:30 or 8 and then you close at 12 and then what? What happens to the people who are working and they want to utilize the banks and stuff like that at lunchtime or something like that? Then he said, well, that's how we've lived and that's the way it is. That's the way it works. But anyway, people are working given Tuesday and Thursday because the banks open until 6 p.m. in the evening, you know. So this was something extremely new to me because in Zambia, the banks open around 8 or 8:30, some of them maybe 9, until 3:30 or 4, or some of them until 5. But in South Africa, yes, they open around that time, around 8:30, then they close at 3. 3 o'clock, 3:30, the banks are closed in South Africa. But there's a lot of reasons behind closing the banks so early in South Africa. Yeah, at different times. Yeah, so sometimes apparently here the banks are closed so early on these days to the public, but people still work on the background, like they are doing the background work in the banks, and it makes sense as well. Yeah, so every country or every institution in different countries, they've got their own way of doing things. So these are all things that one has to adapt to, you know. It's a lot, and it will take time, and it takes time, you know. Number 10, guys. Here in Germany, people drink bottled water. You know, where I come from, you drink water from the tap and it's fine. But here, just clean water, still water. I know that there's also still water that is sold in Zambia on the streets of Lusaka and stuff like that. But when you go back home, when you're at home, there's no need for you to really be buying cases of water every day, and it's part of life. It's part of like buying any other drinks in the house. You can buy if you want, but it's not something that has become like a culture or a tradition for Zambians or even South Africans to be buying water for drinking every day. We drink water in the house from the tap, you understand? But here in Germany, you buy water for drinking every day. And for me, that was something new. Something new. And you know what? Until today, for me, I say, you know what? You can continue to drink this water from the bottles you can buy all the time. For me, you know what? I don't give it a damn. I drink tap water. I drink water. Tap water. It's not tap water, bottled water. I drink because I don't really, I haven't really found the difference between the bottled water and the water from the taps. So I asked my husband, I said, does the water from the tap kill? Does it kill, or is it dangerous to drink, or is there something wrong? And then he said, no, I think we are just used to drinking bottled water because maybe sometimes we feel that maybe there's a little bit maybe of chlorine. So we are used to the bottled water. And then I said, but I don't taste the difference. So, you know, since I don't taste the difference, so me, I'll be drinking tap water. I don't want the trouble of buy bottled water and this and that. No, I will drink the tap water and easy. Number 11, here in Germany, children or kids or learners don't wear uniforms. They don't put on uniforms, they wear clothes to go to school. Which I think, I don't know what I think about that. It's a good thing because maybe some people, you know, like where I come from, some people do not have money to buy a uniform, and that prevents them actually to go to school, because sometimes when you ask them, you say, why don't you go to school, or why are you not in school? The answer they'll give you is that I do not have a uniform. The uniform I had is small, or is you know, finished, wear and tear, you know. So I think Germany has done well to not be wearing uniforms at schools, because then that will allow each and every child to have access to school, whether they have a uniform or not, you know, or you know, rather than where I come from, where kids are not allowed to be in school if they don't have a full or a proper uniform, you know. So I think, yeah, I think that that's something good, but it was something new to me, because all my life I have known to say, okay, children, I mean learners, go to school in uniform, you know. That's what I grew up knowing. But I also knew that private schools, especially nursery schools or kindergartens, kids used to go to there with clothes. But once you hit grade 1, especially in government schools, you start wearing your uniform. So I thought it was the same here in Germany, but it wasn't, and it is not the same. Now we come to number 12, and the last of the cultural shocks that I've experienced here in Germany. Guys, to my shock, when you go to college, when you go to university, you finish your undergraduate, you finish your college education, your master's. Guys, there is no graduation ceremony here in Germany. You can't, guys. There is no graduation ceremony. You don't wear a gown. You don't wear the graduation hat. There's nothing like that, guys. Here, there's nothing like that. When you graduate or when you finish your school, you go, you get your results. Of course, maybe privately you have parties. Yes, privately parties are there with your families and stuff like that. But those great graduation ceremonies, guys, where there's music and there's that beautiful graduation song, guys, I've forgotten about it. But I think it's I'll put it somewhere here. I will put a link, or I'll put the name of the song. That song, I love it so much, guys. It just means so much to me when I hear that song. It has played on each and every graduation ceremony that I have attended, and it just brings so much peace and so much love for education, you know. And for me, it just does it. So you don't have that, you know, the I've forgotten what they call it, guys. The people, the professors, the doctors, and all the other administrative staff of the university coming. You know, the academia coming in front. You guys in a type of rehearsed way of coming in. That does not happen here, and for me that is something huge. That is something to look forward to. So that was a huge cultural shock here in Germany. It does not happen, guys. The only time a person wears a graduation gown and a graduation hat is when they have graduated at doctorate level, PhD level. That's when it happens. So yeah, guys, That's what I had for you guys. Thank you so much for being here and listening. So right now, from me to you guys, I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Hit the notification button so that you do not miss on any of my videos, guys. Please share and leave a comment. So from me to you is bye, love you, and peace.